everyone. And today we're just kind of gathering as a small group and to share our questions and thoughts and just be, grounded in this time of uncertainties and turmoil possibly. But let's just gather together and then come inward a little bit as we also expand outward. I think it's important to address our micro and macro world that we are part of always. We tend to maybe focus a little bit more on the macro side, but it is important to know that there's microcosmos inside us. So let's just take a moment here. Maybe close your eyes. And as you breathe, first, let's just notice your feet, bottom of your feet. Maybe wiggle your toes a little bit, like as if you're playing with the sand underneath you. And then maybe rocking your feet from heels to your toes, heels to your toes. Relax your knees, relaxing your thighs. And then relaxing your belly, but imagine that you have a string attached to the top of your head that is pulling you up gently towards the heavens. And also notice the grounding feelings at the tip of your tailbone that is also tugging you towards Mother Earth, Gaia. And so you're kind of suspended between the heavens and the earth, and allow your belly area to relax. So softening the breath, softening the belly. We live in a world that I feel like we have to suck in the belly, have to fit in zip up the jeans. And so that's not what we're doing here. We're softening up into this moment, knowing that you're connected to the heavens and earth, and you are also supported by these two amazing forces. Good. And then slowly coming back to this moment, opening your eyes, allow the light to come inside. Did you feel that, everyone? A sense of connection. Okay, good. So I'm thinking maybe just start with Lori today. Okay. So let's, I know you just had a vacation, so you look great.
Did.
Yes.
Did. Yep. I feel rested today. But yeah, I think you kind of maybe touched on it, which I don't even realize is even there. Is there is a little bit of, for me, I think a little bit of anger in that it's been so quiet that why am I not being creative enough? Why am I not getting in touch enough with my inner self to get to that creativity at this time? I'm focusing on my health, but I feel like that's all I'm doing is focusing on my health, and that there's got to be more to this.
Yeah, I know. It's like we were talking before this, this started, and I said there's a residual kind of anger. It could be frustrations,
yes,
agitation, even, is there, and it's weighing you down a little bit. It's causing you to have a little bit of stuck rock in there that you can't quite poop out. That's kind of what I'm sensing.
Yeah.
And I also sense that the lymph nodes are a little bit not flowing. So you might have actually noticed a little edema or like socks marks. Okay.
Yes.
It's like, wait a minute, where is this edema coming from? Yeah.
Yes.
So,
I figured it's just because I was eating salty food because I was away. So yeah.
And then just so I'm muscle testing myself always, kind of, and then feeling into the zone. But maybe I don't sense that to be the major cause of it. It's just there's a stuck lymph nodes in a couple places. So maybe let's start that. And then and all of you can actually do this with me. But the areas that I feel your lymphatic system is stuck is the bend of the thighs, upper thighs area. Okay. So where you're sitting. Okay. And as well as right at the below the earlobes, and then where the neck comes in and the jawline meets, right? And then so hold on a sec. So when those areas, but particularly this one is big one for you, is you're not expressing something quite right or quite enough. Maybe not right isn't the word, but it's like it's not quite. So it's like there's a swallowing. You're swallowing a little bit of pebbles. Okay. So I would love for you to hack that up a little bit. Okay. And then you don't need to share your stories or anything like that. But, you know, judging from your smiles, I can tell that that's hitting something, but the little pebbles are you're swallowing back in, back in, back in. It's not a giant thing, but they're accumulating. Okay. So they're definitely getting stuck. And any thoughts so far with that? Throat, rocks getting
All,
stuck?
yeah, all there. Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's a daily accumulation also. Okay. I think a lot of times we think, okay, is there like a giant event that happened to me? And sometimes there are. Okay. And you and I have talked about this in the past, but sometimes it's just a little by little. Morning, there's a swallowing that's not quite there. And then in the lunchtime, you're accumulating another rock. And then dinner time, another pebble. Okay. So that's kind of what I feel. So what all of us we want to do is go up to that region, use your middle fingers and maybe index fingers. And let's actually go up first, up towards your earlobes. Okay. And maybe start a little bit below on the neck, but mid to below, just go up. And you can make your way down to K27, which is the kidney 27, is a great acupuncture point right on your collarbones here. And then go up. Why are we going up when we should be draining the lymphatic system, which we know we should be going downward, right? It's because we want to like push the gate towards the gate that's closed and push it up against it. So there's a pressure. So then the pressure will trigger the gate to open. Okay. So now let's start to go down. And Lori, what I want you to think about is think about something with you. I don't know why, but it's like colors to me. It's almost like color pencils even, painting, like a simple watercolor. It's not an oil painting, but it's like a watercolor. Yeah, something to do with color. And it could be even adding a silk scarf around your neck or something very light. Yeah.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be a pen, you know, color pencil on a paper and you must create something beautiful, you know, or considered to be artistic kind of thing. That's not what we're going for. Just something to do with color. And it may even be, adding little pillows and things like that has a splash of colors. Okay. Okay. Even on your bed or something.
Yeah.
Okay. So keep going and use both hands. You can't because you got the phone.
I'm holding my phone.
That's okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. Then maybe switch to cross it over.
Right.
And everyone, this is also very creative. If you cross your arms like this and then work on your lymphatic system with your opposite hands. When you cross them, you get to actually kind of turn the pattern around. Okay. So think about colors. I don't know why, but keep finding more of a like pastel color scheme for me. Pink, even like light blue, yellow. They're not like a primary color ones, but it's a little bit lighter, softer, gentler. Oh, see, Lori, I mean, you know how to be hard on yourself.
Yes.
Right? How do you create softness? Through colors, like gentle, feminine, softer, fluffy clouds kind of a feel. Okay. Okay, let's relax for a moment. And then just close your eyes and feel where your energy is landing. So maybe share with us, where's that energy now moving towards? From that anchor energy, maybe stuck in around liver to lower belly to the ankles. Has that shifted?
I feel like it's all in my solar plexus actually, like right in here. And I feel like now that I know where it is, I know I can focus on it and get rid of it.
Exactly. So let's tap that area too, everyone. Just like release it for her too. Yeah, I felt that energy deeply move down the sternum.
Yeah, me too. And I never feel energy. I felt that though.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So I would work on this first.
Okay.
And then let's later on maybe address the upper thighs part, you know, but this needs to drain first. Okay.
Yeah.
And now just kind of tap into that feeling of I'm not being creative. There's some agitation, even you can name it as anger or frustrations. How's that?
I feel better already. Like I just feel like relief. Yeah.
Okay, good. So
Yeah.
yeah, your homework is to do this, but I would
Yeah.
cross it. Okay.
Okay.
And then tap that area and then see if
Yep.
you could bring your energy down to this area and pay attention to your ankles and socks marks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds
All
good.
right. Good.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. I'm going to go to Lynn. Hi, Lynn.
Yay.
Hey.
Hi.
All right. So let's just see how you're doing. Okay. And then I think I did not have it on, well, no, I have it on the speaker mode. So hopefully Lynn is just not showing up on my screen, but that's okay. I see you, but maybe I'll just put it on the galley view. So that's okay. We'll just do, what is this? Brady Bunch style. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So go for it, Lynn.
Okay.
But hold on a sec.
Okay.
You don't even have to say much. There's a lot of turmoil. Why did you choose to be in the middle of the ocean? Well, there's a storm. Let's come back in. let's just come back in. Whoa. Okay. I'll get to your questions, but maybe this is kind of all we need to be doing right now. Okay, so let's just imagine you don't need to be on that boat in the middle of the ocean. Okay, you can actually be on the lake also. So could you imagine a beautiful lake somewhere that is more placid and calm, like a first thing in the morning when the lake is really calm and settled, or in the evening where the stars are reflecting back so you feel like you're inside the space. Yeah. And you don't need to go anywhere. You just let the lake water just gently rock you so ever so lightly. And you know what? Let's do that, Lynn, and everyone too. Just side to side, as if the lake is just having the small movements. So microscopic. Yeah. And then go forward and back. Forward and back. It's so small. And what I'm going to have you do, and let me muscle test you on this, right? Okay, no. So you're going to be uncoiling yourself because you've been wound up so much. And I feel like, I know it's like on the Zoom, it's the reverse, but I feel like you're wound so tightly, like you're tightening the jar of a peanut butter or a pickle, okay? And so you're going to unwind that going the other way. Like you're unscrewing the light bulb, okay? So I would love for you to start to make this unwinding motion at the tailbone. And it's small. I mean, you can see it from me. I'm not moving a whole lot. So it's not like this giant movements right now. Right at the tailbone. Like if you had dipped your tailbone to a paintbrush, like a paint, it'll just be drawing a small circle there. Yeah. And you're unwinding yourself. Let's see if you could feel that. Unwinding. And then let's bring the awareness from the unwinding from the tailbone to your sacrum area. And if you feel like you want to move a little bit bigger at that point, bigger circles, that's fine. Allow that. And when I get to the sacrum and the hip bones area, I imagine that I'm cleaning out the peanut butter jar or almond butter jar, where those get stuck. So I'm the spatula or my finger that's cleaning that out. And then move up the spine with it, like you're uncoiling your spine all the way to the base of the neck. Stay at the base of the neck for a little bit. You know that big bone that sticks out at the back of the neck, that's C7. And then now I want you to just move your head with it too. Start relaxing your head with it. There's a little too much seriousness going on here, Lynn. Yeah, so laugh a little. The natural laughter starts to come up from the belly, doesn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even like we're watching some funny shows and laughing, but it's just funny. It's just funny how serious and wound up we become. So yeah, just start moving your head with it. Still in the circle motion. And now we're approaching towards the forehead and the back of the eyes. Oh, that area is so tight. So you've probably been feeling like, I can't see through this. I can't see through whatever this is. So let's clear that energy there. And let's move up to the top of your head. And let's release up towards the heavens. Oh, I totally see like your guides are like, give them to me. Give them to me. They're like reaching their hands and they're like, oh yeah, we can take this. We can take this away from you. Good. And then slowly come back to stillness. And I feel like we can maybe just tighten the jaw just a couple notch. Okay. So we just do 2 circles going the opposite, just to balance it out. Just to balance it out. There you go. That's just about enough. Yeah. I just notice your breath. How do you feel, Lynn?
Better. A lot better.
Yeah, you were just wound up a little too tightly. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I see you as like even a little girl, just wound up trying to figure life out. You know, I got to make this better for my parents. I got to make this better for my mommy and my daddy, you know. And it's just, yeah. It's okay. It's okay. Right. Yeah. Any thoughts, any questions?
Well, I've been here in Newport Beach for 7 weeks now, helping my half-sister and my brother-in-law who had major surgery. And they are old enough to be my parents. And I think it's been a lot. There's been a lot of blessings of being in this environment and being of service, and she's filled in a lot of gaps that I didn't know about from my childhood and my dad and stuff. But the other night we had like kind of a long talk and it was a little emotional and whatever. And the next morning my neck was out, which hasn't happened in a long time.
Oh, no wonder I was feeling that neck then.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I usually panic in that moment and I have to ice it. And I iced it, I talked to it. And when we did this monthly webinar the other day, and Chris and you were talking about talking to that fear or whatever that is one of my biggest fears, because I can't really do anything or move. And it causes me to slow way down because I get really dizzy. So, but it didn't last a long time. But the rest of the day, I was very aware of being much more slow and just giving myself more of like an easy day and not doing so much. So I'm trying to like be friends with that part. Yes. And this is helping also. So I think, I don't know if it's that, you know, I'm so sensitive or like an empath that I pick everybody's stuff up. I did that when I was little. I know that for the family. So I'm trying to kind of, this helps a lot. And then I'm leaving tomorrow morning for Colorado, super early in the morning, to visit my other sister with my boyfriend. We're driving. So I guess my question was going to be, where in my body, spirit, soul, what do I need anything right now before I move into this other next?
When you drive too. So the first thing that came to me was so interesting. We started at the tailbone, because a lot of your neck issues is at the tailbone, and you lock up your sacrum. There's a locking that happens in that region. Oh God, I'm getting chills because it's deep-seated. It's deep-seated locking that you do. You almost clench not just your jaw, but you clench your glutes just to kind of like go into that tightness mode. Okay. Just to protect yourself, just so that you can be upright. All right. So right now, all of you too, just clench your butt cheeks. Okay. Really tighten it. Okay. We don't know what it is to relax the glutes until you tighten them. Okay. And then relax. Completely melt. Yeah. Melt into the seat so that your glutes are like a melting ice creams. Okay. 2 scoops of ice cream melting. That's what I want you to imagine. Okay, so do it again. Tighten it up again. And tuck your tail under. Really pull the belly in too. So you're so tight from a second and first chakra. Your thighs are tightening too. Then let go. Okay, and then go forward and back. You're rocking your pelvic floor. Forward and back. Forward and back. There you go. And what I want you to do, Lynn, is to imagine you have an apple sitting on the top of your head. So you're not moving your head with it. You're isolating the pelvic floor only. You see that? My head does move a little bit, okay? But you're not doing this, okay? Because you're just isolating that pelvic floor only. All right, that's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard for you to connect with that area because there's a disconnect in that region. And it's so funny, the theme, every time I do these kind of a small groups, there's a theme. Creativity is the theme.
Yeah.
The lack of creativity. And creativity isn't just artistic, art expression here, okay? Create it in the way that you can really get in touch with your dancing motions, movements. And what I'm sensing from all of you is this locked up pelvic floor that you feel lack of flow. It's like things been dammed up, okay? There's just not enough, it's congested. There's a lot of congestion. So some of you are noticing maybe congestion in the sinuses, congestion in the lymphatic system, like Lori and I just talked about, right? And there's a congestion in that area. So even like Lizzie, we might talk about this, but it might be like blood flow, so it's like a menstrual PMS kind of things or something like that could be happening too. All right, hormonal imbalance, it might be, there's a flow there too, okay? So you could see, Lynn, how locked up you are there, right? So you wanna do these motions that you imagine you put an apple here. So the top of your head is not moving that much, okay? So it's that connection with heaven is there. But the bottom is rocking, all right? And then start to work on that. And you could do that on the road trip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you go forward and back, but then eventually you want to start do like a figure 8 with it.
Right.
All right. Yeah. And find the areas that you just go, there's just not enough. When it comes to creativity, Lynn, I think for you, what would be helpful is the physical dancing motions. Like much more than like Lori needs to do a little bit more hands stuff, like more of a 5th chakra things. So writing poetry, maybe writing a song down, whatever ways that you can get in touch with the more of a writing kind of a thing will be good. Wax on, wax off. That's what you need to do, Lori. Okay. Paintbrush going up and down. It's like a karate kid here. Okay. That will be helpful. But Lynn, I think it's more for you. It's like tap dancing kind of a feeling, if you know what I mean. Tap, tap. So when you're taking little breaks between while you're doing the trip to Colorado, do some tap dancing at the gas station. Let's see, there's some, it's not necessarily like a tree pose kind of thing. I'm talking more of a dancing moves, do a square dance moves, or so figure something out. Cha, cha, cha. Okay. Look it up on YouTube. Find something that Roomba will be great. Something. You've gotten a little too serious, so wiggle it around. All right. Okay. Does that feel a little bit better already?
Yes, it does. And when I stretch, like when I do the Sphinx pose we talked about, I sometimes feel it down my legs, and I think it is because that whole area has been so tight.
Yeah.
And we talked about we talked about getting my hormones checked again sometime in August.
That's right.
So I'm actually stopping by there today on the way back to LA. They're going to do a blood draw, so I'll get those results back too. So awesome.
Yeah, and then I'll definitely look at that. So yeah, a little bit something like that will be, just allow that area to not get so locked up. It's like a sensual movements is what you need. So it's not like go have a fabulous sex, that works too, but it's more of a sensual, whatever that means to you. Okay. And it has to come from the 2nd chakra and the 1st chakra area. Use your legs, bend your knees when you're doing these. Okay, don't be in the straight legs. Okay, so I think that's why Roomba feels really good to me.
Uh-huh.
All right, so that's your homework. So by the time you arrive in Colorado to see me, you're able to dance Roomba with me. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Lizzie. Okay, so I gotta ask you to unmute, and I think there you go. Fabulous.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. I'm
Well,
always so amazed with these group sessions, how it's so, everyone's so related. Like we are all so connected in what's going on.
yeah.
It's really
And I don't, I didn't even know this was going to be the theme, and I would say I belong in that same theme. It's just this like a stuck feeling around creativity, and I've been having a lot of lower region back fascial tightness. Like I feel like I'm being saran wrapped around my lower back. Yeah. So yeah. And well, okay. So Lizzie, let's see. I mean, you can talk to, and there's been a lot of good stuff, Lizzie. I sense
yeah.
lot of good motion. Like there's something really starting to flow for you at the upper region. So
Yeah, I feel a lot like a lot of things I'm being tested a lot, and I'm like mentally coming to a place where I have more power over myself, or I feel like I can like control my reactions and how I respond to different things. That's been really really amazing.
I
I
feel
do.
your heart is opening now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's sweetness
And
coming back. Like, yeah.
yeah, I think something that came up for me, which Lori mentioned, was saying like she's so focused on her health. And like for me, I'm also in that same boat where like, how do I guess I have a few questions. So there's like the more energetic, spiritual question of this, of how do I like not be so attached to when I feel good and like so distraught when I don't feel good or something happens,
So here's a question for you, okay, for all of you, okay. Do you get attached to the weather report? Do you get attached to the sunshine that is here today or rain that is here today? Do you get attached to it and say to the universe, oh my God, make sure tomorrow is exactly like today? You wouldn't, right? So you kind of want to look at your health from that perspective and say, today is, sunshine in the morning, and it's supposed to have clouds, and we're going to have a little rain in the afternoon, and that's it, right? Nobody's going to look back at it the next day and say, how dare you, I don't have the same repeat today, so part of it is our ego, right? Our ego mind loves to stay in the sameness. Ego loves to have knowing. Ego is so addicted to knowing and make sure that the tomorrow is going to look exactly the same. And that causes us to have that suffering. The Buddha talked about, right? The suffering comes from us getting attached to the outcome or attached to the sameness. So just when that feelings come up, just gently go, would I be attached to the weather? No, I wouldn't be, right? But there's a part of us, right, that is always, this is the beautiful thing about being alive right now as human beings on this earth, is that can you almost guarantee, can 99.999% the sun will probably rise tomorrow? Yeah, right. So there's these two areas in our minds, in our being, right? That one, we don't know what tomorrow will bring, but there's part of us that can pretty much rely on the fact that the sun will rise. And that part is that you as a being wants to be here and wants to support you 100%. You are here to support you, okay? Not a single part of your body is going against you, okay? So what you need to be prepared is like, sometimes you need the AC, okay? Sometimes you need an umbrella. Sometimes you need a winter coat, okay? It's just, that's what you prepare for, right? Sometimes you need a long rubber boots to get through the rain, okay? Sometimes you need a snow boots, okay? And everything in between. So you know that, and then you also know the sun will rise because your body is here to support you. So always carry and always hold those two truths. That's one. So you talk to your ego and your mind to be calm about it. Okay. And then, yeah, I know you have other questions too, but let me just finish this one thing is that health and healing. So the word healing originates from the word wholeness. Okay. Wholeness. So wholeness is the macro and microcosmic level. And we are being impacted because as empaths, you wouldn't show up to this kind of call if you weren't empaths and sensitives. Okay. And intuitive. And all of us are intuitive, but some of us have cultivated that energy, maybe inadvertently. You may not want it to be so intuitive, but you became intuitive. Okay. So just know that you are whole of everything. Okay. It's large and it's small at the same time. Okay. So there's a little bit of overwhelm we feel when we know this truth about who we are, but you know that you can only take one breath at a time. You can't take breaths for yesterday. You can't take a breath for tomorrow. So whenever you feel like, oh man, I'm stuck, man, my life is all about trying to be healthy, because you don't show up to this call if you are completely healthy and you have nothing that you need to address. Okay. You come to me because you have health concerns. But know that the sun will rise, know that your body is here to support you. And at the same time, we can't hold on to the outcome or to sameness. Okay. Everything changes. That's what the Taoist said. Right. All right, Lizzie. Okay. Yeah. So I know you have thoughts and questions. So.
What's so interesting is what I started saying, I was saying I'm showing up in this new way where I have this power and I can respond to people in a way that feels good to me, but it goes the same to myself. So I feel like what you just told me is what I'm doing for other people, but what I can practice more on myself.
Yeah. And this is when, you might want to do some like a mirror work also, just to kind of have a conversation with yourself before you go to bed or first thing in the morning, and just say, good morning, Lizzie. I am here to be kind. I'm here to be understanding. I'm here to listen to my inner voice, because, it's all about learning the language of this body, language of this universe, right? And you have been working on this for a long time. So what you just said was beautiful. It's perfect. Just go, okay, I am I'm showing the understanding towards others. But yeah, the hardest place is us, isn't it? Hardest place to be that receptive and kind and gentle is towards us. And this is the webinar that we just did is on the topic of goodness. Goodness stems from the word God, right? So it's seeing goodness in you means seeing God in you and seeing God in others. Yeah, it's so needed in the world we live in right now. So, yeah. Any you had 2 questions, so go for the.
Well, I don't know if we have time. It's really not. It's fine, but it was more of just.
We'll do it. We'll do a speed. We'll do the speed one.
Going to just physical is like finishing doing the Candida protocol and bringing probiotics back into my life, and I'm finding I'm getting really bloated. And I don't know if it's related or how to incorporate what to do about that, because it's like, I feel like it's coming back.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. So what I would like for you to do is probiotics is important after you've done the Candida protocol and then fungal protocol. That it is important to bring back the probiotics back in here, but you can't do it too fast. So what I immediately felt from you is that let's do the prebiotics a little bit more. So maybe do every 3 days, let's add the probiotics. So let's add back the probiotics. On those 2 other days prior to that, you're going to do prebiotics. So focus on prebiotics foods. Okay, so that could be jicama. Okay, it could be just a slice of maybe a quarter of a green apple would be good. Onions and garlic, those are really good too. And just a little bit of starchy things can come back in too. But I wouldn't overdo those potatoes right now. Okay, But so do some prebiotic foods so that the body is ready to take on the new good guys coming back in. It's not good or bad, but you know, the probiotics. Okay. Because you don't want to just add them in, because then they have a dance party in your gut, and then they have a fart parties. Okay. So they start to like get bloat, and they start to release their own farts, and you just feel like, oh my God, what is happening in there? So you want to slowly introduce them. Okay. But prebiotics would be a great way to feed the guys that are already in there. And pathogenic things, they don't often feed off of those good prebiotics. They love to feed off of sugar kind of things. Okay. All right. So, and don't overdo on the prebiotics either. Maybe like a one-time lunchtime, you add a little bit jicama salad with the seaweeds or something like that. Okay. Or cucumbers sliced in it, or, you know, something. Okay. Does that make sense, Lizzie? I know you're a good cook, so I know you'll be able to bring that in. So let's not do every day. And, you know, you have the probiotics that you can suck on also, right? That you just received.
Yeah,
okay.
They're coming. I think they were back ordered, but yes.
Okay, so that'll be a great one because it's oral one, so it doesn't impact your gut so much. So you might want to do that. And probiotics, you might want to do more of a liquid based, so like Inner Eco, or not the kombucha kind of things, but a little bit more liquid based probiotics. Okay, so your gut doesn't have to kind of process them so much. Okay, does it resonate with you?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think, you know, we all been struggling with our physiology and biology and biochemistry. And then we have this feeling like, I got to resolve this today. Right. But body has its own clock. And this is where we have to respect that. You know, this is where we have to be humbled by that. And what I sense is that let's not rush into it just because you finished the protocol of addressing it using oregano oil and things like that, not to rush into probiotics that, you know, they can actually really, they're having a hard time. So they're like eating old protein that didn't quite get digested. You know, make sure your digestion is supported, because what I sense is that you could probably up your stomach acid a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you been diligent with the stomach acid?
I have been, but I ran out of the betaine, so I was using the hydrozyme.
Yeah, so it's probably not potent enough. So maybe up your hydrozyme so you can readjust that number. Okay. Because what I feel is that some of your microbes are eating your undigested protein and undigested things in your gut, and they're having a dance party in there in your small intestine.
Yeah, because I definitely I did too many probiotics. Like you said, I'm like, oh, let's do this. And it was, I think.
So you want to just kind of identify, where did that voice come from? You know, let's do this, you know, like now we're going to pump it back in. It probably came from a little bit more of a mind, you know, and not enough from the gut mind. So if you have a conversation, your gut mind will say, hey, could you just slow down a bit here? Like, we don't know what you're giving us here. Like, we are literally having a rave party in here. Okay. And that totally probably dated me, but you know, I'm the generation that created the rave. So, okay. Does that sit well with you? Okay. Right. In your gut.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So let's do every 3 days. You're going to reintroduce the probiotics, whether it's tablets, okay, or whether it's capsules. But the other 2 days, you're going to be doing maybe a liquid as well as prebiotics. Okay. All right. Do you feel good?
Yeah.
All right. Good. All right. I'm going to mute you, and then I'm going to go to Mary. Okay, hold on. I think I asked to unmute, and you have to unmute yourself, Mary.
Sorry about that. I had a freeze on my internet, and I had to go out and come back in. So I was on my phone for a while listening. I apologize.
Oh, good. Yeah, no
problem.
I knew. I have faith in you. I knew you.
I didn't have too much faith in me right there, but
you'll come back right at the time. Oh, okay, let's stop there, right there.
Here I am.
Right there, what you just said.
What did I say?
I don't have a lot of faith in me.
I was just kidding.
No, that's where I want you to go. That's where I want you to go for a moment. Okay, put one hand on your heart. Put your other hand on your belly. Okay. Tap into the faith in you. Believing in you. Sweetheart, that's where it's getting stuck, and it's getting stuck even at the third chakra.
Right.
Move it up here, move it up here, move your hand up here. Have faith in you. All things flow. All things flow. There you go. All things flow.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to go down, more of a gravitationally, energetically. Don't bring it up, down, up. Okay. Top to the bottom flow. Okay. I have faith in me. Let's repeat that. I have faith in me.
Faith in me.
I have faith in me.
I have faith in me. I have
Faith in me. There you go. I believe in my power.
I believe in my power.
There you go. Oh man, Mary, I mentioned this before we started the call. Let's put your hands on both hands on your gallbladder liver.
Mm-hmm.
That's still your stuck point.
Yep.
Your faith was removed. Like, it's almost like when you had your gallbladder removed, there's a part of you that stopped trusting in macro and micro level.
Okay.
Can you feel that? Can you feel that it's just...
Yeah, because the pain went from, I didn't feel so much pain here, a little further up, but then it went in through my back where, excuse me, it kind of put my back out of place. And everything started to
shift it, huh? The alignment is changing like this. Yeah.
So.
Okay, cough it up a little bit. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Release that.
Yeah.
Woo.
Wow.
This is deep.
It's been going on for about a week or so, a little longer. Off and on. Off and on. And
yeah, the adjustment has to happen from the top and bottom, okay? And then the coughing will come up also.
Okay.
It's phlegmy. It's almost bitter, almost, it's just not and it's just kind of getting stuck right in there too.
Yeah.
It's the faith in, it's not having the faith in, it's not just you. You're having almost like you're losing faith in a lot of things. In the government, possibly. I'm just kind of throwing it out there.
Nothing.
Even the community around you. Communities you're connected to virtually also. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with that, Mary? What's up with that? Okay, so let's just, let's cough it up. Lori, you're sensing something from this too. Do you want to chime in for a little bit for Mary? Because, there's something you need to say.
Yeah, no, I kind of feel the same thing, feeling that sense of losing faith in people around you, losing faith in the government, and then feeling like maybe I'm not strong enough to stay in my own faith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. That said it. That was perfect. I couldn't have said it any better. That was absolutely right. And to know that's, Mary, you're not alone. There's a lot of where do I ground myself? Like, a lot of the spiritual world is saying, ground yourself. But it's like, where am I supposed to ground myself at? Give me a location that is stable, that is groundable. Okay. And it's a lot of work right now, everyone. You almost have to tune into yourself multiple times a day. It's not something that you can take it for granted. Just say, oh, I did it yesterday, so I'm good to go today. It's almost like every 2 to 3 hours, you better come back home. Come back home, because you got to go retrieve your soul. Your soul got spread apart in a room somewhere. One went to the neighbor's house. You got to go collect them. Bring your soul back into position again. So maybe that might be helpful to know that that's what's being called, to readjust, realign, come back. So that's why the adjustments isn't just the technical adjustments, of chiropractic adjustments, but you've got to be readjusting your channels constantly, because somebody's going there and having a remote control and then they're changing channels on you. Okay.
Oh boy, is that ever? That's what it feels like.
Yeah. It's like, what? I wasn't watching that. What are you doing? Yeah. So come back, maybe even turn it off. Okay. Just take the batteries off of that remote control so no one can change it. But yeah, I think we're moving with it. We're flowing with it. That's why undulation movements are going to be important, rhythmically flowing with it. So it's not even like a surfing, but it's a small adjustments are happening. It's not even like, because if it's like a giant waves, we become aware and then we can surf it better. Don't you think sometimes? But it's these like a microscopic movements. We don't even notice that's happening till it's become too big.
Yeah. Yeah. So like you're drowning. And it's like, oh man, I didn't know I was in that deep.
It's like, where did this come from? Yeah. And completely like knocks you over, like somebody hit your forehead.
Wow.
Yeah. Have faith in you that you can maneuver this. We can, it's not a surfing, everyone. It's not about surfing. It's about maneuvering through this meandering journey that we're on. All of us are on. And
I don't normally lose faith. I don't normally. I usually am pretty strong in that area.
I know.
But I have to say, now that you brought it up, lately, I felt like yesterday with some of the stuff that happened in the news and things like that, and I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it, but just some of it, there was hope. And I felt like hope is renewed again. So I started to feel better this morning. Maybe that's why this is all kind of coming up now.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna have you there's still really stuck in a lungs area. I know some of you are feeling that she's got a stuckness in her lungs. And the stuckness in your lungs with you, Mary, is the upper lobe, not the middle or the lower lobe. It's right at this kind of a superficial up in, area, right? So maybe first let's just everybody tap that region, upper lobe. And did you know that your lungs come all the way up here?
No.
At the top of you? Yeah. So you can tap that area too.
I haven't been doing my tapping lately either, and that boy makes a difference.
It really moves the stagnation and come back to this area again. It's just like, above your nipples and then below your collarbones kind of thing. Okay. That's good. Yeah. And then right under your armpits, like vigorously. We look like monkeys here, but
it's easy.
monkeys. Yes. And cross it.
That's easier.
Yeah. That is easier.
This is harder.
Yeah. Monkey motion is a little hard because we don't have as long of arms. Okay.
Oh.
That's already a little better. Okay. So then the last thing, everyone, because I want to see how Mary's cough can go away here. Okay. I'm going to sit back so you can see me. But when I'm doing the arm movements, okay, I don't want you to just move from the arms. This is where the arm and shoulder comes in here, right? I don't want you to move like this robotically, okay? I want the chest and the lungs, and this is great for you, Lynn, also. Wow, this is good for everyone, actually.
Oh, that's good.
And then let's reach and open the chest, let your chin up a little bit, and then round, like really, you're paying major attention to each vertebra as you round. And then open as you inhale. Don't do this while you're driving. Okay. And then exhale.
Please.
Yeah. While you're in the car, it might be a little hard too. Okay. And then reach, but like you want to reach towards each other. And then open, allow the sunshine to come through your sternum. And then release as you exhale. Yeah. And then let's do this towards the right side of you. So you're saying hello to the east or west or north or south. It doesn't matter, but go out to one side. Hello, my west. I'm looking at my west. And then I'm going to switch it to my east. Good morning, east. I miss you, Japan. And release. Okay. And then let's go to the back. Okay. So which for me is north. Ooh, I love you, north. Beautiful north. Good. Come back. And then let's do the heavens. Hello, heavens. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Round and come back in. Maybe I'm going to do the heavens one more time. Move your hips with it, your sacrum with it, Lynn. Okay. Open your heart, Lizzie. And Lori, feel your tailbone. Okay. Feel your throat opening. And then towards the Gaia, towards Mother Earth. Go down, scoop the leaves off the ground like a fall leaves up or a spring water coming up. Shower yourself with it and then come back down. Yeah. Good. Well, Mary hasn't coughed. Uh-oh, Mary's in a heaven mode and froze, but that's okay. She will come back. So, all right, how did that feel for the rest of you? You can unmute and tell me. There's Mary.
It feels so nice to open, like in this area for me. I get really stuck in my
Computer froze up again, so I had to go back to my.
Okay, that's okay, Mary. That's all right. Find your position, and then Lizzie was just sharing that her heart area is starting to open up, and that's for you. Okay, Lizzie, you got to open up for your own heart. Okay, because you're such a sweetheart. So, okay, yeah. And Lynn, did you feel that was good, huh?
Yes, that was great. And I feel a playfulness, a fun, happy coming back. Thank you.
You're welcome. My favorite's always been, I love Earth. I'm an Earth baby. I was born on Earth Day, and my sign is Earth, and I'm a Taurus. So it's like I'm super, super Earth person. And so I love the part that when I get to gather up the fall leaves or like spring water coming up, and then I get to splash myself with it. And, I go back to being a little kid that loved fall and the trees and all the leaves that just fill up the yard. And I get to jump into a pile, we'll create a huge pile and we'll just dive into it. So that's the feeling that I get. So whichever direction you felt connected to. Do those things. That could be your own dance every day. Okay. All right, Mary, you haven't coughed, so that's good.
Nope. It feels a lot better.
Good.
There's
Good.
a little bit of phlegm up, but not too much.
Good. And then just let's everybody brush off and then shake it off. Shake it off with your hands. Yeah. So let's just, Mary, work on believing in you. Let's start there. Believe in you that you'll get through this, whatever this that we're all going through. Okay. And find faith in different things. Maybe it's your flower that always faithfully, bloom for you. Isn't there a flower that called Faithful or something? I don't know. I think there's a flower named that, but
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. But just finding something that you can rely on. Your cat, your kitty cats. Okay. All right.
Well, that's when most of the sadness started when Pumpkin died. I think that's when it started. I started to lose faith in a lot of things because of sadness or whatever. It's yeah, I'm coming.
Yes, you are. You are. And
Thank you for this.
It's okay to feel that too, right? Everyone, it's okay to feel that. I think there's too much emphasis on happiness, and this is my opinion. Okay. How do we know true joy and happiness if we don't know the true darkness and deep part of who we are? So as collective, we're going through the dark night of the soul, right? This is a deep tunnel we're going through. We have faith and hope that will come out of the other side. Okay. But at the same time, don't, I know it's not like you do this, Mary, but I think a lot of messages out there is to try to stay in the light, stay in the happiness zone, find joy. I get that. That is important. I'm not going to deny that that is an important part of who we are.
Mhm.
But I feel like too many books been written about happiness. Okay. And that becomes a pressure, because as if we're not meant to feel the range of emotions, right? That we're supposed to only feel this range of emotions, which is happiness, joy, and contentment, and what else fit into that region.
Right.
And it's okay that we have a range. And most of know that I've talked about the range of motion, ROM, importance of ROM. You might want to write that down on a sticky note, put it somewhere in your kitchen. That will remind you to be in the range of motion. You want to have a spectrum of who you are, not just a limited area of who you are. Okay. So that's what's been asked of us. Thank you, Mary, for sharing that.
Thank you, honey. Thank you. I feel lots better. Thank you all.
Yeah. I love that. I'm so glad we could gather today and do this. Thanks for being here. Any other last thoughts? Any comments?
That's great.
No, we're good.
Loved it as always. Loved it as always.
Blessed as always.
Good.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. I'm going to stop the recording. So Lynn, you just had a food question last minute. So let's do this. Okay. So beans, you started to add the hummus and quinoa. And hummus just made me feel bloated just listening to it. So I think I'm going to hold off on that in the summer months a little bit longer. Let's see, this month, next month. Ooh, not till about October.
Okay.
So maybe like a fall, quinoa is fine, but make sure you're cooking them right. So quinoa, you want to soak them. Okay. A cup of quinoa with 2 cups of water. And I usually add a little bit of vinegar in it. So apple cider vinegar. Okay. And let it sit there for minimum of about 4 hours. Okay. But I often will do just overnight. So just before I go to bed, I will soak it. And then the next morning I just drain it and clean the quinoa and then cook it. But obviously it's been soaking, so you don't need like the full cup of water to cook it, because quinoa is like a 1 cup to 1 cup water to quinoa ratio. But you can do just a tiny bit less than a 1 cup when you cook them on the cooktop. Okay. But
And
that feels okay,
butter,
but not every day though. Okay. Not every
right.
day. Yeah.
And almond butter for me?
That's good.
Okay.
I get a guess. Yeah. Quinoa, I'm thinking once a week. Once every 10 days or so with the quinoa. Maybe you can make quinoa salad with it, parsley and things like that. So, okay. Yeah, you're welcome. All right. So this is the real goodbye, because we had the we had the little PS there. So, okay. Thank you, everyone. Love you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
See you later.
See you
Bye.
later. Bye.